All right, here we go. Big Trey D, welcome back.
Thank you, Vlad. What's going on, man?
A lot of people say, that you're their favorite guest. You hear that a lot.
That's large. I mean, to be considered anybody's favorite is something good. That's
There we go. There we go.
That's a blessing. Shout out to all y'all, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Well, let's get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about a few current events that are happening right now.
Right.
R. Kelly gets arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Then he does an interview with Gayle King.
Right.
He's crying. Did you see that?
Nah, I didn't know he cried again. He cries pretty frequently, though.
Oh, yeah. Let me hold on a second.
No, I saw a clip of it somewhere where he jumped up, but I don't. There's so many theatrics going on in Hollywood today and politics.
Hold on a second. I'll play a little clip here.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career. Y'all trying to kill me. You killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth.
And he's telling the truth. He's fighting for his life right now. The life of his career, his freedom, everything. Yeah. Wow. It's amazing. I mean, that was real. The ending was, I never saw that. The end was like, either he's a good actor or the weight all came down on him, or, he really got some, I'm skeptical about the whole issue anyway, as far as, like, I saw a father and a mother saying how he had one of their daughters brainwashed, and she had been with him over the course of however many years, and she was, underage when he got her and everything. And me and my wife was like laughing, like not laughing at the situation, but laughing like, man, she said, if that was me, my father would have took my brothers in the woods. They'd have had some training real quick, and they would have came and got me. It wouldn't even been none of that. Oh, you don't want to come back. What's going on over there? He holding you against your will. Oh, he beating you. It wouldn't have been no questions. It would have been a rescue mission. So I can't fathom. That's what's hard for me to swallow about the whole thing. I can't understand how out of 5 or 10 women, none of them had a crazy cousin, a nutty uncle, or something that's been like, what's going on? Who? I'm going over there. I mean, because that's how we get on, man, about our family.
Well, but what if the girls just don't want to leave? Because actually later on that interview, they interviewed the 2 girls, one of which was being held hostage, who was basically crying and saying, no, I love R. Kelly. I don't want to leave.
And she was underage?
No. Well, at this point, she's of age. I don't know if she was underage in the beginning. I guess that's what the parents are alluding to.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, she's like 20-something years old.
Right. So
she don't want to go.
How long she was there. Yeah, I think those were the parents probably talking about the brainwashing.
But,
and they were saying that you sold your daughter to R. Kelly or something. I don't know. I know I read stories that certain parents took their kids to R. Kelly for, to the studio with him or things of this nature, and I'm like, well, I mean, if you was trying to get your kid discovered and you had action at that, 9 out of 10, if it's R. Kelly, of course you're going to go.
Really?
What happens after that?
Knowing R. Kelly, like everybody knows R. Kelly's history.
A parent, Vlad.
Every parent knows R. Kelly's history. Any parent over the age of 30 has heard of R. Kelly's Aaliyah stories and the sex tape and everything else like that. Every parent, every black parent, 100% across.
Just think though, if they have access to him and rationally thinking like, no, you always think it's not going to be your child or it's not going to be you in the situation. Not saying, oh, I got a chance for my daughter to be, I don't know any other celebrity or no other person I could take her to for them to hear her sing, but he's willing to give her a chance and hear her sing. You know, you take a chance. Some parents take a chance.
You would take your daughter to R. Kelly?
No. No. But I understand some parents who might.
I don't.
I do because it's like, I mean, it's like,
fuck those
check
parents.
This out,
those
check
parents
this
ain't
out,
shit. Let me
check
just put it.
out,
Let me just say that right now.
Okay,
fuck
you're
those parents.
Absolutely right, and I don't disagree.
Those are not parents. Those are just people who happen to have some kids.
You're absolutely correct. I was going to compare it to the girl who has her nails done, you know, who keeps a little nice jewelry on, dresses real nice, but has her baby in a stroller with a dirty blanket and a snotty nose.
Right.
They're not good parents.
They're not good parents.
But they're parents.
They are parents.
You know, and all parents don't make the wisest decisions.
Right.
And just thinking that, oh, I have a chance for my daughter to go on and make the family millions and be discovered and this, that, and the other. Yeah, I mean, some of them will run the risk. Would I do it? No, I wouldn't. But do I understand? Yeah, I understand. You know, I told you I like human psychology, so I get it.
You
It's
are
fucked
sending.
up. It's fucked up.
You are sending a young girl to someone who has a history of molesting young girls.
Well, to safeguard that, I would think the parent would occupy, you know, the kid, you know, and like if I was like, well, my daughter's very beautiful, you know, she's filled out, whatever, and she might be attractive to him. Under no circumstances would I take my daughter to R. Kelly and initiate the process or get involved after the fact. I would definitely advise any of my daughters against messing with R. Kelly. However, I know in a situation where you have no other outlet to provide your child the potential to become a star, some people turn a blind eye or this just not going to be me. I'm going to risk it. But not all of them did. I cannot believe 10 or 15 women was in the same area being held hostage, this, that, and that. Not defending him. Yeah. Not defending him. To my logic, it just doesn't jive with my logic that you could get away with this in this one area over years and years and years, and now all of a sudden, you know what? I'm gonna expose you. Oh, well, I got a story too. Well, I got a story. Now all of a sudden, 30 people got stories, and y'all never took action to go, you know what I mean?
You know what I hope? I think this would be the ideal situation for me. I hope that R. Kelly gets convicted of all the pedophilia shit, and then he turns around and testifies against all the parents and illustrates all the ways that the parents put their kids in that situation. Mm-hmm. And then the parents get locked up as well. Mm-hmm. That's what I hope.
That's a big hope.
I hope that R. Kelly gets on the stand and says, so-and-so, they knew my history and they told me that I could have sex with their daughter if I promised them a record deal and that type of shit.
Oh, wow.
Because that's basically what's happening. I'm sure when you see some of these underage girls prostituting, walking the streets, I'm sure some of their parents are aware of those activities and tolerate it because some money's getting taken back to the home. I'm sure.
I'm kind of doubtful of that.
I am sure that there are
cases. I say in rare cases because once the child or once the girl begins to go out and make money in that capacity, they don't usually come home. You know, they don't usually have a bedroom with, Winnie the Pooh curtains and all that up in there. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen.
They out doing their thing.
How many mothers tell their daughter, go find yourself a man with some money?
I'm sure it's a lot.
And how many you know what I'm saying? Like, how many of their mothers, like, let me put it like this. I interviewed Tito Jackson. Mm-hmm. 2 of his sons dated Kardashian sisters in high school. Your son, TJ, dated Kim Kardashian in high school.
Yes, they were high school lovers, puppy love, or however you brand it. They were quite young. I think they were something like, he dated her from 14 to 18.
Now, your middle son dated Kourtney Kardashian.
Yes, he dated Kourtney about the same length of time, but it was later, not at the same time when TJ dated Kim. But Terrell dated Kourtney as little as maybe 7, 8 years ago.
You don't think that their mother was, oh, Jackson boy is interested in you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Girl, do whatever. Mm-hmm. Do whatever he wants you to do. We need to get in that circle. Because by that time, I think that Rob Kardashian Jr. had died, and she was kind of low on money.
Gotcha.
And she got her 2 daughters. Like, Kris Jenner has been pimping out her daughters this whole time.
I could.
In high school, Kim and Kourtney were both dating Jacksons. In high school. You don't think they were fucking? In high school,
yeah,
in high school, the
in high
Kardashian
school.
girls
Of
with
course
the Jackson young men. Come on now, come on now.
Right.
And mom knew all about it and was like, yeah, you got to get them to marry you. We go get some of that Jackson money, whatever. Mothers and fathers have been pimping their kids since the dawn of fucking time. It's going to continue, and there's just more of a spotlight on it right now.
And I don't think it's the same scenario in all regards to this R. Kelly situation. I don't think all the parents said, well, you know what, you can go. I think some of them went on their own, and then just decided not to come back if they went at all. I don't think every allegation against him is real. I don't,
No.
Because it's just, it's just like they heaping everything that he could possibly be involved in. They exposing it, and then they heaping on everything that he might be guilty of. Oh, well, where's this pad they had that raided? They didn't find no manacles on the wall or nothing like that, or no,
Well,
where's the evidence?
I interviewed Lisa Van Allen.
Mm-hmm. Who is she?
She was one of the girls that was being interviewed in Surviving R. Kelly. Mm-hmm. Did you watch it?
No.
Okay. So Lisa Van Allen met R. Kelly at the Home Alone video shoot. Mm-hmm. She was 17 at the time. Mm-hmm. They started a relationship. He was 30. She was 17. Not sure if that was legal or not in Chicago, but whatever. They started, having sex. He flew her out to Chicago, and they continued a relationship for a few years. Nice. Right? He would videotape him having sex with her as well as threesomes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. At one point, and we talked about this on camera, she stole the videotape. She went ahead and stole this tape, and then you gave it to one of his artists?
Yes.
And this is before the charges and everything?
Yes. Well, he had actually it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
At one point, he finds out that you took that tape.
Yeah, he did. He found out.
And how did that go?
That was in 2007. Yeah, he found out about it. And he actually asked me to come to Chicago. And I came to Chicago. We talked about it. He asked me, did I think I could get possession of it? And I told him I did. And I actually spoke with Keith and got him to come to Chicago with the tape.
So I guess Kelly's lawyers said that you tried to get $300,000 for that tape.
Yeah, no. We didn't try to get anything for anything. He did give them money for the tape, but he gave them, it was his idea. He said, I will give you $250,000 for the tape.
And then she went on to testify against him in court and allegedly is involved in testifying with him with his new case. Mm-hmm. These are the type of things that kind of happen that people don't really put a lot of focus on. But like, she said that she never extorted him. She said that he offered her $250,000 for the tape. But you buying some shit back from something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She stole it from him and he's buying it back.
Right.
I mean, that's extortion. I mean, no matter how you look at it, you can't really paint it a different type of way.
Right.
If I took your chain and you said, hey, I want my chain back, and I'll say, okay, $50,000. Well, I'm not extorting you, but you offered me $50,000. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is the type of thing that was happening with money, and he paid it.
Right.
And she got $100,000 out of it. Then she testified against him. He also bought her a car, bought her a new Mustang when she was like 18 or 19.
Okay.
And probably gave her a bunch of money along the way. This is all the stuff that's happening that people are not focusing on, but there's a lot more to the story. Everyone that's involved in this shit has their hands dirty in their own type of way.
Got you. That's what I was getting to. Thank you for that, Vlad. I really appreciate that. Yeah, everybody's hands is not clean in this situation, including some of the women that's involved. All this, it's a big, it's a cesspool. It's a cesspool. And like, I'm sure if he had this going on at this location, a few of his player partners was aware of it. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no telling how they came through and parlayed. I think that's what they got on Donald Trump out there in Russia. Some of them parties. I do. Some of them parties, some of them billionaire parties.
Yeah.
They got different rooms where different things go on.
Right, with videotape probably.
It's going to be a videotape somewhere.
I mean, like, for example, I had Lunel on the show.
Funny lady.
Yep. Yeah. And we were talking about Drea Kelly, his ex-wife. And she's, and Drea's crying, he was a monster and he abused me. And she's like, yeah, but you had 3 kids for this motherfucker.
Getting out is not always as easy as we say it is, and I understand that. But I'm probably not going to have 3 motherfucking babies for a motherfucker I can't stand that I'm scared of. After the first motherfucking, you wasn't around to help, you were on the road and shit like that, and I'm going to have another one, I'm pregnant. Or he wouldn't allow me to use birth control or whatever the fuck excuse it may be. I'm not having 3 babies for the motherfucker I can't stand. I'm not doing
There's abortions, there's morning after pills.
Like, jump off the stairs, jump off a cliff, do anything.
Right.
Get rid of this motherfucker.
That's really a problem.
She was living the life, man. Listen.
Yeah.
I remember I looked at one of these videos, like, she was one of his backup dancers. And she was in his videos.
Right.
Thong out, everything.
Yeah. Yeah, she was with the whole process.
Probably had a bunch of threesomes herself.
If that's what he into, you know what I'm saying?
I interviewed Public Announcement. And he used to sleep in the back with all the dancers at the same time. And I guess her and the other dancers, they would all sleep with R. Kelly in the back of the bus together.
Well, basically, I mean, because it was, I'm sure you've seen a tour bus. Everybody who does music seen a tour bus. There's a back room and then there's a bunch of bunks. So we had bunks. And he stayed on the back room and all the girls stayed with him.
Okay, but at one point, Drea stayed in the back room and the other girls had to go in the bunks.
Yeah, it happened like later. They all stayed on there for a while, you know what I'm saying, throughout whatever particular tour that was. And then one day, it just changed. And then the girls were in the bunks and it was just him and her on the back of the bus.
Okay. He was living like he wanted to live and they was condoning it. I mean, they wasn't chained up. They wasn't getting fed no drugs to, discombobulate them, nothing like that. So, it's a story that unfortunately involve underage women.
And I think that's really the focus for me. Like,
yeah.
I think R. Kelly had a lot of women that want to fuck with him, and that's fine. But he also liked underage girls in the process, and for that, I think he should go to prison.
The same situation with Robert Kraft. I don't understand that. Getting
the hand job?
Yeah, but I don't understand that. You are a billionaire. You can have a mansion somewhere where you import 10 different women every week to be there, whatever your persuasion, and it's not gonna be no skin off your neck. You can go there, do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. You're gonna go to a seedy Florida spa with $1 billion and just get caught up and get bad decision making. But you give in to your desires, man. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have no discipline, you give in to your desires. And I guess he was itching right then, and he just walked in on the sting, and it went all bad for him. Now look at this Kraft cheese. You can't even look at a box of macaroni and cheese no more without thinking.
Well, he's not connected to the Kraft
yes,
company.
He is.
Oh, he is?
What?
Oh, that's the Kraft.
He's
Kraft
the Kraft billionaire. Yeah.
Well, Kraft is a public company now, but his family started it.
Yes. Yes.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Mm-hmm. I mean, I believe you. I just want to. I never knew this before.
Yeah.
Kraft Group is a real estate company,
His name not connected to that?
not to be confused with Kraft Foods or Kraft Heinz. Nope. Nothing to do with it.
So where he get his money from? Where's money come from? Real estate?
He's got the Kraft Group, which was founded in 1998. Is in professional sports, manufacturing, real estate development, private equity investments.
Okay.
You know, and the Patriots is just one of the companies that's owned by. Yeah.
Okay, well,
There's
I
a
can
new
enjoy my mac and cheese again. I could have sworn that's where his billions came from.
Gillette Stadium was financed by the Kraft Group.
I thought he was one of those crafts.
Nope. International Forest Products, shit like that. Bunch of big real estate shit and all that type of stuff. Nope. But still a billionaire. But you know, Donald
And still a
Sterling.
dumb move. You got $1 billion. Why you gonna go to the local hand job joint?
Donald Sterling had his little high price girls, and you know they recorded him and put his shit out anyways.
Yeah.
Then you can't really trust anybody.
And he lost the Clippers, didn't he?
He lost the Clippers in the process. She recorded his phone call. The little side chick he was giving Ferraris to and taking care of. Mm-hmm. She recorded his phone call, put it out, and he lost the
She a
Clippers.
little black chick or something?
She was like mixed, like black and Asian.
Yeah, mixed. Yeah.
Yeah, man, can't trust anybody. Then you got Michael Jackson, the whole Leaving Neverland documentary.
Right.
You haven't watched it, but I just finished watching it.
No, I haven't watched it.
You're a
I
Michael
don't watch stuff like that, Vlad.
You don't watch it?
No, because it's like, for one, in this situation, Michael Jackson been gone for a minute now.
10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. And what relief are these two people really seeking right now, other than, you know, having a story brought out for the world to be reminded of?
Well, I saw it, and this is my take. They went into very graphic, like gay sex stories between them and Michael. You know, he did this and that and put this and that and everything else like that. And it was established that these two boys, who were boys at the time, spent a lot of time with Michael. They have pictures, they have faxes, they have stories from different family members. All that seems to add up, you know, some phone recorded conversations. We'll never know what really happened behind closed doors between Michael and those 7-year-old boys. But we do know that both of them filed $100 million lawsuits that were both thrown out, and they're now appealing. So there is a huge money motivation for these two young men.
Yeah.
To do it. Neither one of them seemed very successful on their own.
Right.
One of them had a little bit of a career as a choreographer and, you know, worked with some artists or whatever else, but it seems like both of them really aren't making very much money now. And they're trying to cash out.
Right.
Is what I think.
Yeah, that's what I would think too, because it's really, you can't get any answers from Michael about, you know, why did you do this to me? And, you know, I want to expose you to the world, what you did and all. He can't even defend himself, you know, and I think that's kind of like, an instrument for sensationalism right now, you know, just to keep knock legends down, man, you know, especially in the black world, man. Not saying he was innocent or nothing like that, but, you know, even black people do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I do the not guilty, you know, until proven guilty. You know what I mean? And he wasn't proven guilty.
Well, he was proven not guilty in a court of law.
Yes, he was.
In a criminal court of law, and the civil lawsuits he all settled, ultimately. But he did beat his criminal case.
Yeah. And you can see that as, I don't want my name drugged through the mud. I got world tours to do and all this. So here, take this shut up gag order. Let me go on about my business. I ain't messing with no more kids. Or, you know, look, man, I know y'all going to get me on this one, so here, take the money. Who knows? I don't know. So, you know, I'm not going to indulge in that kind of, you know, ooh, what'd he do? Ooh, you know, I just I can't get into that because I got too much shit going on with Trey D. You feel me?
Yeah, and you also have to think like, well, you're actually kind of an interesting person to ask about this. Michael Jackson was the most famous human being, I think, since like, maybe Jesus or something like that.
I would agree.
Like
Man,
really.
that's dope that you should say that because that's the truth. And a lot of people don't know that to this day that's probably watching this.
Yeah, like I
no
would say,
one has been bigger than Michael Jackson.
Yeah, like, because you could go
Probably
back.
except Jesus.
I mean, George Washington, Abe Lincoln, various
John
kings.
Kennedy.
John Kennedy,
Yeah.
the Beatles,
Yeah.
Elvis
Elvis
Presley. Yeah, Michael was bigger than all of them.
Yes, he was.
All of them.
Yeah.
So you were next to Snoop a lot, who is not Michael Jackson level, but was definitely up there.
Yeah,
in fame.
He's a big musical icon.
A big figure that is not just hip hop anymore. He's doing Martha Stewart shit and whatever else.
Talk shows.
Yeah. Being around Snoop, did you see that, like, how the rules for Snoop didn't really apply? He don't live by the same set of rules as everybody else.
You damn right he don't. Shit. Yeah, I saw that everywhere we went,
Give me some examples.
Well, we would go to the mall before we would go do a show, and certain stores, they lock the door. And, it'd just be like, okay, Snoop, we'd be 15, 20 deep. It'd be like, okay, Snoop, whatever you want, man, just get it. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it, this, that, and the other. And
He'll go to stores, just grab whatever he wants.
Pretty much. Or, they give them great discounts and things of this nature. And we went to Amsterdam one time, and about 30, 40 people actually chased the tour bus for about like 6 or 7 blocks. And I thought that was amazing. It was my first time in Amsterdam too, and they saw us come out the cafe, and they saw Snoop, and the word went out, and everybody just flooded. And yeah, it's just everywhere we go. He's a superstar. So, to be on that level, Mike was 10 times, 20 times that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Mike was more famous than the Pope.
Yes.
More famous than any world leader, any scientist.
Yes.
More famous than Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Way more famous than Michael Jordan.
Yes.
And now
Yes.
Michael Jordan's like the most famous person on earth, pretty much, after
Probably
Michael
so.
died.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they keeping
So
that Michael line
Michael's
going.
functioning on a level that none of us can really even comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
So all the weird shit he did,
Alleged to have done.
they're alleged. Well, that's what I'm saying. Whatever he did, no one could really check him. No one could tell Mike, this is a bad idea. Don't do this. Like,
You don't think Quincy could have told him that? You
he
don't think
he stopped fucking with Quincy. All
who
that
was he
shit.
fucking with after Quincy?
That was the thing. I had heard that Quincy Jones stopped fucking with Michael because Michael was trying to produce his own shit. And Quincy was like, all right, well, then go do your own shit then, motherfucker.
Right.
And that was it.
Right.
Quincy did.
That's a Quincy
they did
move.
Off the Wall, Thriller. I think he did Bad, right?
Yeah, I believe he did.
After Bad, Mike was just fucking. He was fucking with R. Kelly.
What?
Yeah. You Were Not Alone. That's all. R.
Yeah,
Kelly
he did. Yeah,
writing
he
that
did.
shit.
Right. Yeah, he did.
He was
Right.
fucking with
That.
Black Child. He was fucking with a bunch of different producers. Mm-hmm. Really? Yeah. Once Quincy, all the
Didn't
weird
Bad
shit.
come out before Thriller?
No, Thriller than
Thriller
Bad.
then Bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Off the Wall, Thriller than Bad.
Yeah. Bad sold like a mother.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Thriller
saying.
wasn't nothing like Thriller. Thriller was,
Yeah, which I think was Michael Jackson's greatest album ever.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I agree.
People try to say
I
Off
agree.
the
I saw
Wall.
when Jermaine said that. Yeah, I saw
Tito.
Tito.
Tito
Yeah, I
said
saw
that, yeah.
Tito said that.
Yeah, people try to say Off the Wall is better. I'm like, whatever.
No, probably a different, probably a different caliber of people say Off the Wall was better because
Yeah.
that kind of appealed to a, that kind of appealed to a
Yeah.
different
Different demographic.
The different demographic. Thank you.
Well, Michael Jackson basically felt untouchable until they cuffed him up and mugshotted him. And remember when he got arrested, there was that mugshot? You never seen the Michael Jackson mugshot?
I probably did. I just don't remember it. I didn't know that was a mug shot.
Yeah, that's a mugshot. Yeah, I'll even show you the whole thing. Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department.
Right.
Make it official. Because Neverland Ranch was right there in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically feel untouchable until the U.S. comes in and cuffs you up and throws you in a cell and says, hey, motherfucker.
Ask Tekashi.
As famous as you think you are, we don't give much of a fuck.
yeah, exactly.
Right, because I guess one of the boys had described, that was accusing him of pedophilia, I guess described his penis or something. I guess drew it out, so they actually made him strip and took photos of his penis and stuff like that. He actually talked about that in a video.
Humiliation.
You never seen the video of him talking about it? Hold on. Michael Jackson defending.
That was his lawyer speech.
I mean, yeah, someone wrote. Someone wrote that for him.
Come on.
Well, anyways, it was just kind of interesting where you're untouchable, you're worth hundreds of millions, whatever else. They'll cuff you up and throw you in jail, just like.
But he never moved like that. You know what I'm saying? He never moved like, you can't touch me. People was fainting when they seen Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? He just smiled. People was fainting. He never was an arrogant superstar.
Yeah, but you're rolling around with young kids.
Yeah,
you're rolling around with 7, 10, 12-year-olds. Like you're literally walking the streets with them. They're coming over and spending the night at your house.
Yeah, you built the ranch for them. I mean,
you built a damn amusement park to attract them. Like, I'm sure a number of people.
He had too much of an affinity for kids. I would agree with that.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, that he was so famous that he was just like, I like having kids around. And someone probably said, Mike, this is a bad idea. But I'm Michael Jackson. Who the fuck you?
But to have them around like that and be sexually abusing them is like, I mean, I guess why would you have them around all the time? You want to be a kid that bad. I don't get it. I don't get the whole get down, but, like I say, man.
I don't understand either is that, I mean, I guess he had, his siblings were all a bit older because some of his nieces and nephews.
Randy and Janet was younger.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying, most of his brothers were older.
Mm-hmm.
They started having kids because one of Michael Jackson's nephew was saying, "Oh yeah, I used to go to Michael Jackson's house and we used to all play and stuff like that." If you had your nieces and nephews around, no one will say shit. But you had a bunch of random white kids, just like
crazy, ridiculous,
from Australia. And
I didn't
shit like
get it.
that.
I'm not acting like I understood it. I didn't get it myself.
And this is what I'm saying, like. You are so much bigger than any other human being since Jesus that you're just doing whatever the fuck you want and not listening to anybody.
He should have had people advise him against that. He really should have. He should have, regardless if that's what he chose, he should have had, okay, I'm going to open the ranch and I'm going to be the conductor, once a month or something like that.
Yeah, it'll be like a little monthly thing.
Yeah, just, and then, but if he was on some pedophile stuff, that would have been wrong too, still. No matter how infrequent you did it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you like being around kids with no ulterior motive, then he could have still handled that differently where, he couldn't have had those aspersions cast on him by inviting a lot of kids out to functions and doing stuff like that, but not where you sleeping with kids and you're a grown man and this, that, and that. That's what made the whole thing look bad, Yeah,
the parents would literally leave for like a week at a time and leave their kids there with him. At one point, he asked, according to the documentary, he asked one of the mothers if he.
I'm not leaving my kids with Michael Jackson like I wouldn't leave them with R. Kelly. I'm not leaving my kids with Michael Jackson either.
Right.
I don't care if he Michael Jackson. My kid, I'm not leaving my kid for a week. You don't know me. They didn't grow up calling you Uncle Michael. None of that.
Even then.
Mike want kids around. Come on. Okay, you're gonna be here. Okay, we're going to Ohio for a week, and I'm not leaving my kid. And I'm not leaving my kid with nobody.
I
for
feel
no
you.
week.
I feel you. Fuck those parents, man. I hope those parents all go to prison along with whatever the fuck happens. What do you think about the Jussie Smollett situation?
Juicy Jesse. Juicy. My wife called him. My wife said, I say, you know that man name is Jesse. Why you calling him Juicy? She just laughed. Yeah, Jussie Smollett, man. He blew it. I don't care. Look, I don't care. He blew it. The dudes connected to it, the Nigerians, why they gonna put some MAGA hats on and beat you up and call you names? Why? Oh, you gave them $3,500 for training, but they wasn't training you yet. Come on, man. There's just too much that's wrong with that story.
You know what's interesting to me? When me and you were growing up, no one really respected the victim. If you were a victim, that was something you were ashamed of. You try to keep that to yourself.
Good point.
The victim was not celebrated.
Not at all. Now in this era, the victim is celebrated.
To the point that you actually create a fake attack, allegedly, to make yourself look like an even bigger victim. Have someone smack you up and whatever else.
Yeah. And did you see how big them dudes was? They would have mauled that guy if they really would have wanted, if that would have been the situation. So I don't know.
Those motherfuckers look like they were fucking monsters. Like, they.
And that's why he said he paid them the $3,500 because he wanted abs like them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he paid. Yeah, it was funny.
Let me play.
I watched the whole thing unfold. I told my wife in the beginning. I said, "Yeah, he's gonna get kicked off the show. He's gonna be a disgrace to the LGBTQ community. They're not gonna back him once they find out what's going on and all this stuff. No, what this, that?" I said, "Okay, watch what I tell you," and it all unfolded.
This one guy I know, Ace Vane. He does these little parody videos, and he actually did a parody of his Good Morning America interview. Let me play this for you.
As a gay man.
That's cap. I don't want to hear it.
As a black man?
No, nigga. Look, we not doing this. No gay. No black. You making us look stupid, bro.
I got beat up, though. For real. Remember the selfie? Look at the selfie. Look, it's a scratch. They scratched me. And that scratch came from a place of hate. You don't believe my emotions right now? I'm a good actor. I mean, I'm not acting right now, but I mean, you don't believe my performance. You don't watch Empire?
I thought he was really just saying that.
They had a rope around my neck.
Yeah, rope around your neck, yeah.
Look, what will you believe right now?
Nigga, I just want you to stop lying. Motherfuckers dying about this shit for real and you playing.
I just want to be gay Tupac, man.
You can't be gay Tupac.
Yes, I can.
Nigga, Tupac was the gay Tupac and the straight Tupac. He all the Tupacs.
Yeah, it was gonna
He called himself the gay Tupac. Remember that?
I heard about that.
He got on stage. He said, "I fought the fuck back." Even though I hired them dudes. I'm the gay Tupac. I think that's when people said, okay, we're going to look into this a little closely.
Oh,
Call yourself the gay Tupac. We tired of this shit.
Yeah. That don't even kind of like, that's kind of like
man, he got himself
oxymoron.
beat up. And honestly, like, yeah, you're right. If them two dudes really were like, we're going to fuck this dude up, he'd have fucking, his eye would be closed.
What's with the MAGA hat in the news, though? Why? They got him in the store buying it.
On video.
On video. But you didn't have nothing to do with it. Come on, man.
Here's the thing, man. Like, it's not easy to be a criminal. You have to learn how to be a criminal. This is what happens when first-time criminals try their hand at it.
That's it. You absolutely
I'm
right.
going to hire these guys, and then they go with the MAGA hats. I'm going to say I got beat up, and they're going to be a Good Morning America.
Nobody going to tell on me.
No one going to tell on me.
If anything go wrong, he's not going to tell. She's not going to tell. Come on. Everybody going to tell to get themselves out of a situation. 90% of the people going to tell to get themselves out of a situation.
I know like maybe two people in my life that like, if I had them do some shit, I'm pretty sure they would just not tell and do the jail time or whatever else behind it.
Okay.
You know, and I would break them off on the back end, but they will not cooperate and tell on me. 2, maybe 3 people.
And
These are people I've known for a long time.
And you know 2, maybe 300,000.
Right.
And it's
the
that's
hundreds
exactly
of
my
other
point.
thousands, all the other people I know, I would not at all do a crime with them.
That's my point. 95% of the people gonna tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had to almost
whatever.
these situations. I've been tested out, and I've seen how they react during certain situations. I've seen their history. I don't just pick 2 random big guys and say, "Hey, do this crime with me." Don't tell
they
nobody.
Work with you, and they work with you. One of them works on the show. So
they're like extras, I think, on Empire.
Regardless, I mean, it's too closely connected.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The story gonna come back. Like come back. That's just a that should be a good lesson to people. Don't cry wolf. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it's not good. It's not good when you point the finger, because that could have went a lot of different ways. And that was around the time when they were alleging that some white racist dude rolled by and did a drive-by and killed the 7-year-old girl.
Right, turned out to be a black guy.
And it turned out to be...
It turned out to be a gang thing.
Yeah, it turned
with
out
mistaken
to be...
identity, something like that.
Yes. And that was around that same time when people was already getting kind of like heated and frustrated that might even be a possibility. And people was waiting on the results to come out. I know a lot of people was agitated. So then when he followed up with that, you know, it was bad timing, poor judgment, a cry for attention, everything he shouldn't have did. I mean, you know, if you the gay Tupac, that means you the number one in the gay world. So what you need this extra attention for?
Well, you know, right when this came out, you know, we do a flashback every day. And I recalled an interview I did with Mo Preem, who was Tupac's stepbrother. And I titled it, you know, and I did the flashback on the Mo Preem clip. You know, we're gonna play it right now. And the title was, unlike, you know, quote unquote gay Tupac, Jussie Smollett, the real Tupac actually did get beat up by racists. Because the real Tupac actually got beat up by racist white cops.
Right.
And Mo Preem took the picture. A lot of people, they don't really talk about it, but there was an incident where Tupac got beat up by the police. Were you?
That's why. That's what I mean. We were dealing with those issues that's happening right now in 2015 and 1990.
Were you with him when that happened?
We was living together.
You were living together.
He had gone to the bank, came home all scarred up, mad. I took the pictures.
Those are your pictures. Okay. That's what happens when you get jumped by two racist motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Tupac looked fucked up.
Right.
Huge eye, like, you know, bruises on his face.
I remember that picture. I didn't remember Michael Jackson's mugshot, but I remember that picture.
That's what happens when you get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Jussie Smollett shit looked like they scratched him. They scratched him in the eye.
Looked like he shaved too hard or something. Yeah, it didn't look like nothing that they
I've gotten
inflict.
fucked up way worse than that.
Yeah, it didn't look like nothing they would inflict. So yeah. I wasn't buying it. You know, once everything started unfolding, I said, wow, this is gonna turn out bad for this guy.
Yeah, man, I hope they throw the book at him. I hope he gets a couple years for this shit, quite honestly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Anyway, I don't wish jail no one. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Jussie, you making everyone look bad. You making everyone look bad.
Yeah.
Making entertainers look bad.
Well, not only look bad.
Gay people, black people, everyone's looking bad because of you right now.
You could have potentially ignited racial violence
Correct.
all over the nation.
Correct.
That's not something that should be overlooked or laughed off or, oh, he's just gay, you know, they're giving the drama and all that.
No.
None of that shit.
None of that
was
shit.
Foul. It was faulty. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he deserved whatever he got coming.
Since last time, there was some interesting developments in Tekashi 6ix9ine's overall case.
Oh, wow.
I interviewed his baby mother, Sarah Molina.
I heard.
And before her interview, we had gotten a copy of his guilty plea deal, the paperwork. Apparently it was sealed. And if you read the paperwork, it even said that it was sealed for a certain amount of time because I guess there were some people that he told on that they were trying to apprehend. And by releasing this.
They would know that they were on the hot sheet.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So after these people were apprehended, this paper was released, and I had to read it live on camera.
The defendant's obligation under this agreement are as follows: that he shall truthfully and completely disclose all information of the activities of himself and others to the U.S. Attorney's Office, that he will cooperate fully with the New York City Police Department, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Homeland Security Investigations, and other law enforcement agencies. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
That he shall attend all meetings of the office, that he shall provide to the office upon request any document that shall truthfully testify before the grand jury or at any trial, that he shall bring the office's attention all crimes which he has committed, and that he shall commit no further crimes.
Okay, and read the next paragraph, and that'll be it.
If the defendant does this, the office, and this is detailed on pages 4 and 5 of the agreement, agrees not to prosecute the defendant for the crimes set forth in counts 1 through 9 of superseding information, as well as additional crimes that the defendant has told the government about.
In September, when he goes back to court?
Not quite sure. Not quite sure. From what I understand, some of the lawyers I've talked to is that essentially they're going to keep him locked up until everyone else either finishes their trial or pleads guilty, and then he'll get his final sentencing at that point.
Ooh. So he's still going to wind up doing a couple years, 2-3 years.
Depending on how things go.
Well, I mean, if I'm not, you know, a lot of people not going to sit there and just, okay, I'm going to take a plea deal. Some people going to fight it to the end. You know what I'm saying? Take it to the bus stop. Trial might last 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah, you're right. You're talking about the feds. You're not talking about, seeing the judge every 2-3 months.
No.
It'll be like 6 months to a year.
Yes.
These things drag out.
Yes.
You've never been in the feds, right?
Not at all.
Okay, but you know people that have gone through that.
D-Dub in the feds right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I knew people before him that had did federal time and all that.
Do you see these type of situations a lot where a crew gets nabbed up and one person says, I'm telling on everybody?
No.
That's rare.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
It is. And I think it was because the way that they went about it. You know, it kind of like snowballed into we're a big gang now and we're the hottest we got the hottest artists pushing our gang, so we're going to promote our gang, and it went wrong. You should have been promoting the artists, you know what I'm saying, and keeping the gang thing like gang's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, out of sight, out of mind.
Right, like for example, TDE has gang-related people throughout the organization.
As I hear.
I mean, Top, I think, is Bounty Hunters, right? And Schoolboy Q is Hoovers.
He claiming Hoover.
Yeah.
He is from Hoover, I guess. He's in the hood.
J-Rock is...
he stays in the Nickerson Gardens.
Nickerson Gardens, that's blood. Mm-hmm. That's a blood territory.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if he still lives there, but he was not.
But he was claiming that when he was starting.
Mm-hmm.
So you see all these gang type things going on at TDE, but they're not going crazy with the shit and putting it in the forefront.
Not at all. That's not even what they promote. They promote good music.
That's it.
You know what I mean? We make good music.
And they're winning Grammys and Pulitzers and all types of other
Pulitzers.
shit.
Come on,
Pulitzers.
Now. Yeah, exactly. So that's how you do it. That's a part of that's your story. Where you come from and who you are, where you originated from, that's what you use to convey who you are to the public and either endear yourself to them or, get them to understand why you are who you are if you're a public figure. But, yeah, you don't use that as the main theme of your movement because, it's still a criminal organization.
Right. Like Death Row was, to a certain degree.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
Yeah.
You're not going to say it was completely, clean across the board.
Yeah.
There was some gangster shit going on along the way.
A bunch of gangster shit going along
the way.
Yeah.
People dying along the way.
Along
People
the
getting
way.
locked up.
Yeah.
All types of other shit
Yeah.
along the way.
Because we were still out here in the gang capital of America.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it don't matter if you rapping. That's what you do on your time when you out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Then, period, point blank, you're on the street time. So whatever the streets got going on, when you out in the streets, you become a part of it, or you can fall victim to it.
Were you around Snoop when the whole murder trial was happening?
Right when he was maybe, I think he was maybe like 6 months, 8 months maybe into his murder trial.
Okay, so you weren't around him when the actual murder happened?
Not at all.
Yeah, because apparently some guy that apparently had a problem with Snoop tried to roll upon him. Snoop's bodyguard ended up shooting him dead.
Mm-hmm.
Snoop had the trial. Snoop beat it.
Yes.
And Snoop never got into any type of shit like that afterwards. That was it. You never even heard of Snoop getting arrested afterwards.
Well, you know, he at airports and shit like that. Little minor shit. Get pulled over and they find, you know, a little minor shit.
Find some weed or whatever else.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Snoop was like, okay, that's enough for me.
Right.
Fuck that.
Yeah. You ain't gonna catch Snoop with nothing but some extra weed, probably.
Right.
Yeah. He steered away from that.
Yeah.
Which was very
Which
smart.
was the best movie he could have made.
Yeah, it was. It was.
You know, and that trial was very expensive also. I heard Suge put up a lot of money for that trial.
Oh yeah, yeah. I went to court with him maybe like 2-3 times. I was there when they got acquitted.
Okay.
When he got found not guilty, whatever. Yeah.
How was that reaction?
Oh man, it was crazy. I didn't even see him come out the courtroom after that. It was just everybody in the hallway was just like
pandemonium.
Me and Suge was in the hallway talking about lowriders, and yeah, somebody came out and told them, and it just went up. The whole courtroom went up. Everybody outside went up.
So Tekashi is essentially cooperating with everybody. To me, it's some real bullshit because you see him on tape putting a hit out on somebody, and then the guy Kuda B, who he has a song named Kuda, they were real close because I talked to his daughter's, his baby mother about it.
Right.
I think Kuda's out on bail right now, right?
I just, the only reason I feel Kuda would have did it was off the strength of his relationship with Danny. I don't even think it was just more the money. He has a whole song named after him. I've seen, Kuda's been in the house that got raided, He's been around. So it's just like, you told him to do something and he did it out of love for you, and now you're snitching on him.
He's actually naming him as the shooter.
Yeah.
That's like me selling you some coke and then calling the police to say you just bought some coke from me. And you getting arrested.
Yeah.
And I go free
Super
because
foul.
I reported you.
Super
over
foul.
some shit I did.
Yeah. Super foul. I don't know how they do friends these days because, I really don't, because I'm tripping off this story about the YWN or YNW.
YNW Melon.
Yeah, YNW. Yeah, they were supposed to be his friends.
Yeah, supposedly he killed him and drove around the car with him for a while and then tried to put their bodies somewhere else and make it look like a drive-by.
Yeah, he took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
Late after, and it was like, wait a minute. he has he has a couple of wounds that suggest this happened a lot earlier than you
right.
said. So they found shells in the car and
yeah, it's not easy being criminal, man.
Yeah.
Especially with forensics these days, trying to cover shit up and
what? Yeah. Yeah, man.
And now they can match cell phone towers to where you were at certain times.
And they got cameras on the streets.
They got cameras on the streets. They're tracking your cell phone, and there's probably a bunch of cameras that aren't even really legal cameras, but they got access to them anyways, like satellites and stuff like that, if need be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, now he's in prison facing like double murder, and I think they're trying to put another murder of like some deputy on him also, and like
Yeah.
It's a fucking mess. But
that young guy was at work, man.
yeah.
Yeah, nuts.
Well, Tekashi, here's an interesting question. In today's day and age, can Tekashi go and tell on everybody, do a year or two, come out, and still be a rap star?
I have no idea. Because I was gone for 10 and a half years. And the world changed in that time. Different morals, different drugs, different, standards of operation. So I really couldn't say. Now if it was, a couple decades ago, then I would be able to speak with some certainty because I knew exactly what the climate of the hood was. I have no clue now. It's a lot of things that go on that I find very hard to process and swallow. And it's like, damn, y'all letting them get away with that, or why aren't y'all addressing that? That's not something that we engage in, and people just letting people get away with whatever now.
Well, I asked his baby mother about the whole blood thing. I said, how did the blood thing come around? She's like,
he was never really gangbanging before he met the people he met. He wasn't really selling no drugs. He wasn't, that's just not what he was doing.
Okay. So how did you feel when out of the blue, suddenly he's got red rags and he's saying blood and he's waving it around and everything else like that?
It made me question. I had to ask him, I'm like, yo, you blood? Like, is this what you doing now? Like, I just want to know out of curiosity because he was going so hard with it. But he told me he wasn't, and I guess it was just for fashion, I guess. Like, these are the dudes that he's rolling with. They're holding him down, so I guess he's representing. I don't know. Like, that's how I saw it.
I don't know who put Soulja Boy on, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who put Chris Brown on, you know. No disrespect to either one of them. I'm just saying, I don't know, and that's not my business. I'm not a blood.
Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne. Well, I kind of know who influenced them. Mac 10. He influenced. Yeah, Mac 10, when he went over there, he influenced Baby and, Lil Wayne, all of them. Remember, he was signed to Cash Money.
I just interviewed Mac 10.
Yeah. It's my boy,
interview
man.
hasn't come out yet.
I gave him the name Mac Don.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave him at DJ Pool Studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know where that influence come from. But after that, it's like you guys are mega celebrities, or, you guys are already out there and you don't have that background. So I'm kind of curious why you would want to join up at this time, because it's a lot of violence and treachery that comes with gang life. And then I'm wondering, did you really go through the process to get initiated, or was it like, oh, you with us now, homie? And it's just that when it's that simple, as you see in Tekashi's case, when it's just that simple to grab a rag and put it on, your commitment and your understanding of obligation and loyalty and putting in work and maintaining silence, all that's not ingrained in you because you didn't go through the rigors to get that. You didn't experience that. You didn't see that. You didn't see little homies going to jail and, the ones that didn't talk, how they came back and got looked at, and the ones who went in there and got soft, the fate that befell them. You didn't get a chance to really grow up into that. That's why most gang members begin at 10, 11, 12 years old. When you start seeing people 17, 18, 27, 35 starting to gang bang, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, I feel you, man. I feel you. And, at this point now, he's presenting himself, to the courts as someone who got manipulated by all these older gang type guys. But his baby mother said,
like, really, I kind of feel really sad because I feel like in a way these grown men were manipulated by this little rainbow head kid. They was manipulated by money. They was manipulated by a lifestyle that they were now a part of just by being with him. You know, it's just, like you said, money and fame will make people do a lot of things.
They benefited financially, and
Yeah.
they would have continued to benefit had, you know.
But all the
everything
bullshit that they were
supposed.
doing were all beefs that he was starting himself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he's turning around and telling on all of them. Like, you know, and I've said this plenty of times. Like, if you rob me, I'm calling the police.
Mm-hmm.
If you assault me, whatever else, I'm calling the police. I'm not here. I'm not going to thug it out with you. I'm not going to shoot it out with you. You know, I'm not going to get my crew to go to your studio and make things right. It is what it is. You know, if I'm you know, and I you know, in this country, if you're a citizen and you pay taxes and all that,
Citizen. That's the key word. You're a citizen.
you know, you have the
Vlad.
police that you could call when you are a victim. But someone who's telling people to do crimes and is involved in this shit.
Well, put the conjunction on the front. The law-abiding citizen.
Law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm all for working with the police, and you know, if you have to take the stand against someone, you take the stand against someone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they somehow violated you. But if you're out doing shit with these people, and he was on tape doing these crimes along with these guys, robbing someone on tape. You see the rainbow hair in the pictures.
right.
You know, shit was found at his house. The guy,
And that shows you how foul the police are. That shows you how foul law is in America. We have you dead to rights, guilty, but guess what? If you help us get everybody else, we'll ignore what you did. They do that on some murders.
Yeah.
That's called immunity from prosecution. And yeah, they do that. I mean, and that's so foul that you can consciously engage in something, and then when the pressure get on, everything that you said you was about and you committed to, you can just throw that out the window, and then they'll accept that. You know, it's the law is not good.
You know, it's funny though. I don't know how true this is. My friend Maisan, who had been through the system a bunch of years, told me this. He said that the feds are very tricky in what they do.
Yeah.
They don't have to abide by the same set of laws that you. They can get a confession by lying to you. They can secretly record you. They can do all that shit, and it's all admissible in court, and it's all fine.
Mm-hmm.
He said that what might happen in this deal is that, you know, he's now publicly saying he's telling on everybody, right? Once all his co-defendants find out what's happening, they might all take plea deals, knowing that, like, okay, once this guy tells on me, it's over. I'm going to get 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
But if they all take plea deals without him actually having to cooperate, the feds might turn around and say, well, we didn't actually need you for all the stuff you agreed to do, so this deal's off the table. You're going to get sentenced anyways. We didn't actually need your help. We knew you were willing to help, but since we didn't actually utilize your help, which is what the deal lays out, we're going to give you the 20, the 47-year minimum originally.
Wow.
Fuck everybody. We're gonna lock everybody up.
That's the end around. Yeah,
Might
that's
happen.
the cold end around
Might happen.
right there.
And I won't shed any tears about it.
Not me neither. Not me neither. Because I think it's foul that, you didn't ride it out.
Yeah.
You said you was the baddest dude in town. So
Yeah, told everyone to suck your dick.
You can't. That was his favorite phrase. So I mean, you probably ain't even got to tell nobody now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it definitely reminds me of the whole death row story, in a way, because they were calling themselves the new death row.
Right.
Treyway, the new death row. Shotty was saying that all the time.
Right.
And I just recently interviewed Mob James.
Yeah.
And he told a very interesting story. And at one point, he started talking about how within the death row operation, like 11 of the Bloods that were part of the entourage ended up killing each other.
You got Vincent, you got Heron, you got Hen Dog, you got Chin. I mean, I can just name them.
I guess it was 10 or 11 people?
Yeah, you got all of these guys up under the
10 or
same
11 Pyrus were killed
under death row watch.
associating with death row.
Yeah.
Now, you actually knew Bountry.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Bountry. I never knew him or anything.
Yeah, righteous. No, I give him that because I knew him, you know, and he was a solid dude.
Very thorough guy, from what I understand.
He was.
What made him so thorough?
Well, I mean, he did his job. He did what he was there for. Anything Suge needed him to do on the G level, you know, it wasn't no questions asked. He didn't have to guess was it gonna get handled, you know. And I saw that myself in dealing with him. I saw, you know, the commitment that he had to Suge and to Death Row and to Pyru, you know. So I respect that.
Can you talk about any things that you've seen that you saw Bountry do?
Well, I saw them do a lot of things, you know what I mean? But it was the unity and the structure that they had was imposed in their routines, you know, and it was like whenever, you know, the word was, you know, you'll see movement, you know what I mean? And,
can you talk about any of the things you actually saw?
Well, I could, but, you know, the man is past now, you know what I'm saying? And okay. I don't want to, you know, I'm sure he got kids and, you know, he got people that love him that probably see him in a certain light. And, you know, I don't really want to expose nothing he did. I didn't really see a whole lot of bad stuff, but I seen a couple of things where business was taken care of and he was front and center with it.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw him in action, if that's what you know, you're wondering if I
okay. And if you don't want to say specific
stories.
Yeah. If you don't want to get into specifics, I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that Mob James kind of described it was that Suge would basically, you know, give these guys money, a certain amount of money, and they started just fighting over each other.
The more Bountry got closer to Suge, the less money that they were getting because Suge was doing a lot for Bountry.
So he was paying Bountry well.
Yeah. Bountry was getting more money than everybody. Some of the guys that was there were like straight cutthroat, like the one that killed Bountry, George, was so like, how the fuck this dude is getting this and I'm getting this? You giving me peanuts and he getting this.
Monkey Man has life in prison right now over some other shit that he did.
Right. Afterwards?
I think around the same time, something like that. Did you know Monkey Man at all?
Mm-mm.
No. But it just turned into just a whole fucking mess.
Was he a
over
blood?
There.
Monkey Man was a blood?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, actually he was, because he said that you know his brother was killed by another blood.
Oh, okay.
Did you see this level of infighting or anything else like that, or were you just so separated?
Not amongst them. Like I said, they moved as a strong unit everywhere we went. When we was in Florida, you know, they was united. You know, when we went other places in California, you know, they was on point. You know, they used to get up sometime in the morning in certain hotels we would be at, and they would be out in the courtyard exercising at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, and it'd be, you know, 5 or 10 of them down there. And, you know, they'd be running their routine and things. And they was real unified. And I knew a couple of them from prison and from YA as well. So, Lip and Neckbone.
You knew Neckbone?
Yeah.
Neckbone's still around.
I haven't saw him since I've been home.
Yeah, I heard he's still around. Neckbone was one of the guys involved in the MGM fight. I mean, Suge, Neckbone, and Trayvon Lane are the three guys living who were involved in that whole Orlando jumping situation. Right. People keep asking me to bring this up, but Prodigy in his book mentioned some Source Awards situation that you were involved in. You know about this? Can you talk about it? Let's hear it.
It was no, they was coming to try to disrupt Snoop and Dr. Dre from getting on stage and accepting an award.
Okay, so this was at the Source
The
Awards.
second, I think it was the second annual Source Awards in Pasadena.
Was that the one that Suge got on stage and said, "Come to death
No,
row"?
that was the first one in New York. That was at Madison Square Garden. I was there too.
They actually invited y'all the next year, huh? I guess nobody learned their lesson the first year. Okay.
Well, Death Row had the hottest music.
I
then.
guess, but still, yo, I mean,
come
you
on,
almost
and
caused the
especially
fucking...
you're not fit. Then you wasn't finna come to L.A. and have no award show without inviting Death Row.
Okay, fair enough.
That wasn't gonna happen.
So the award show was in Death Row. Was the award show was in L.A. Mm-hmm. And Snoop and Dre in Pasadena. Mm-hmm. Snoop and Dre were going to accept an award. Mm-hmm. So who was going to fuck it up?
All the Death Row entourage, the whole Death Row squad came there.
Because Snoop had already left Death Row at that point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we was out. The East Siders was out. We was there. We was supposed to, I think we performed there. I think we did.
And Dre was already off Death Row also. Mm-hmm. But they were still accepting an award. And Death Row was going to basically fuck all that up.
Yeah, they was coming there to, y'all ain't getting no award. We're going to take off and, all that. So we went on stage to allow them to come on stage. But by that time, I think the presenters had left off the stage and everything because it was tension because they was blocking all the aisles off. And when me and one of the homies from 60s was up there, another homie from 60s came up there. Rest in peace, King Lou. And he even rap about that on the song Doghouse in Your Mouth on one of the East Side albums. And the security rushed Snoop and everybody out the back. Once they start coming to the stage, they rushed Snoop and everybody out the back. So we had a little standoff and, police came and sprayed mace and, rushed us up out of there.
Okay. Was Suge actually up there?
No. Suge himself never got on stage.
No. Any names that we know about were up there?
No.
No.
Just some of them and some of us.
Okay, some of Buntry's people and y'all. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I guess Prodigy said you were like one of the only people that were like stood your ground.
We stood our ground, of course, but it really wasn't as dramatic as he described it. Just, I'm a person gonna keep it 1,000, whether it's make me look good, bad, whatever. I'm gonna keep it real. We just like it's just like y'all ain't finna do nothing up here. They gonna get their award or whatever. But by that time, everything was haywire. Everybody got rushed off the stage. The presenters was gone and everything. And I think the homie might have fired on I think he might have fired on one of them dudes or something before they started, before the mace started, but it was just like a standoff. It wasn't,
when Mob James talked about the MGM fight with Tupac, what he said was
he hit a man that he had no business touching. It was not his fight. And all these guys be talking and saying that is this and that. Tupac should have been escorted out the door, into the car, and driving away when they was whooping his ass. Now, Orlando probably could have understood, would have accepted that ass whooping, because he know I got some bona fide ass niggas whooping on my ass here.
Right.
I can catch him in Compton. No. Tupac take off him. This nigga ain't nothing but a rapper. This how he looking at him. He ain't looking at him like no gangbanger. So I gotta get this fool.
Not at all.
Is that an accurate kind of depiction of?
Yeah, I mean that's with any real gangster. I mean, if whatever happens, you have to address it as soon as you can. And like you say, with a rapper, it's like, it's like rappers are considered as like, you guys talk a good one, but we not believing the shit y'all say. Y'all just make it sound good on the beat. So most rappers are perceived like that. So
right, and I think that most gangsters didn't look at Tupac as a gangster.
Nah.
I think they looked at him as a great entertainer.
Yeah.
But not an actual gangster.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
So I get it, and then, he had homies right there on location. It's like, no, we had right now, and it's like, it's action time. So that's how I go anywhere. If they'd have been anywhere else, it would have been the same way. But it was just that, yeah, that's an added bit of embarrassment, to have somebody that's not even a part of it to be able to ride down on you like that. And I see that in in today's society where you have non-affiliates talking to affiliated people like real bad, and it's like, how could you accept that? I don't get how could you supposed to be a part of the thug squad, so how can you allow somebody that's not a part of what you push get away with slights and disrespect and all that? But it happens a lot today. But then, anybody that's involved in the culture, they couldn't go for that. He couldn't go for that. Especially, like you say, by the time it would have got back to Compton, it would have been told a whole totally different way, and he would have had to, instead of going after 2 or 3 people, he might have had to go after 10, 15 people, So
yeah, Tupac lifted him up over his head and threw him across the...
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Rest in peace, Orlando and Tupac, though,
Yeah.
man. He was a solid dude, man. I knew Orlando.
You knew him?
Yeah.
Personally?
Yeah, he was solid.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
You knew Orlando... Too. Okay, wait, say it again?
I said Pac was a cool dude, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you knew Orlando personally? Mm-hmm. How? In what capacity?
From the streets.
Okay.
I'm a Crip. He's a Crip.
But you're Long Beach, he's Compton.
Compton is right next door to Long Beach. Greenleaf Boulevard separates north side of Long Beach from south side Compton. So we right there. But he was also, pursuing music.
Mm.
And it was like I saw him in the studio. And I also saw him at a car wash in Compton. And
I didn't know he pursued music.
Yeah. Or he messed with somebody that was in music. He was trying to, get one of his homies on or something, because they came to the studio deep, about 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
So, and it wasn't on no gangster shit. It was on music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So you just knew him in passing. You didn't really know him.
Well, we hollered. We talked when we met. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? We talked for 5-10 minutes. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And then when I seen him again, it was like, "What's up, homie?" And what you been up to? This, that, and the other. So, yeah, we wasn't intimate friends, but I knew the man.
Did you hear about the bounty on the 10K bounty on Death Row Chains?
Yeah, I did.
Was that a real thing?
I don't know. I mean, who would you turn them into to get the 10,000? Was the 10,000
according
coming?
to Greg Kading, it was Puffy had put that number out there.
There is no doubt this understanding that there was a bounty. We've never been able to track that down to a source where said I was there when an agreement was made, but that was the understanding on the street and among these people, was that there was a bounty for the chain. And of course we see that becomes real at the Lakewood Mall when Orlando Anderson tries to snatch Trayvon Lane's chain.
Can't confirm it.
So you would have to fly to New York, or what you do? I'd send Puffy a telegram. I got a Death Row chain. Send me the 10,000. Here's proof of the chain, and give a picture of it. How would you get your 10,000?
Well, that's what they say. Well, Puffy was affiliated with the Southside Crips.
Okay.
Like Keefy D. Like if you look at this old Usher video, that was Keefy D's like 6'4" Impala.
Gotcha.
In the video,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe when Suge's homie got killed, allegedly by Wolf,
Mm-hmm.
like Orlando and them were there
Right.
when it happened. So Puffy was somehow affiliating himself with these guys,
Mm-hmm.
Because when he, according to Greg Kading, when he came to LA, he wanted to be able to move around, and Suge was making that difficult.
Puffy realizes that it's dangerous to come out here to Los Angeles, especially after what happened in Atlanta, and knowing that Suge's kind of holding him responsible for that. So he wants to come out here, he wants to promote his music, he wants to be able to kind of run the streets and make connections, but he knows that with Suge out here, it's going to be hard to do.
Smart move on his part, and then to get somebody from the city that could probably hit from the same city that could probably counterbalance what he was bringing to the table. That was a good move.
Yeah, but ultimately it turned into a whole clusterfuck.
Yeah, Pac gone, Biggie gone.
Pac gone, Biggie gone, a bunch of other people are gone.
Yeah, I know a few more of them people too.
Well, you know what's interesting is when I interviewed Greg Kading, he said that once, he took over the whole investigation, but apparently once Orlando got back to Compton, there were guys in the Southside Crips that he was confiding in were calling the police and telling him that Orlando killed Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a couple informants from Southside neighborhood that were talking about it.
Okay, can you see who those people were or no?
Well, there was one guy. His last name was Brooks. He's deceased now, so I'm okay to mention him.
Okay.
He was a witness to the aftermath when they all got back home, and there's conversations going on, and Orlando's taking credit for it.
As well as, I guess, Orlando's aunt called in to report him.
In addition to a family member of Orlando Anderson's own family who early on was contacting detectives and saying my nephew was likely involved in this.
My nephew?
Yeah.
But you're not talking about Keefe D?
No, is a female.
Mm.
I had informants all over the place, and sometimes, you get together and you meet them at the Starbucks, they give you some information, you give them, $100, and you go about your business. And what they're thinking, this is an important component of this, is what they're thinking is that, I'm paying this forward because when the time comes where I do get pickled up and I'm in trouble, I've already done these guys favors and they're going to return the favor. So there's all these nuances to these relationships that get developed between cops and informants.
That's so ugly.
You know about that, though?
No.
Not personally, but you've seen this type of behavior?
No.
No?
No.
You never heard of this?
Paying snitching forward? No. Not at all. I'm totally unfamiliar with that. You just exposed a whole nother side of the game to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm totally unaware of that.
Sometimes he said he would reach in, a couple $100 out of his pocket and just give the person the money right then and there.
I would pay somebody for information on where drugs are being sold, give them $100.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
They would tell on someone that would get that person years in prison for $100.
Well, most of them are providing the information with the understanding that they're never going to be exposed. So they can provide the information, reap a reward from that information.
$100 though?
Whatever it is.
Doesn't that sound kind of silly when you say it out loud? Like,
no, not at all. I mean, only because I know it to be true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And for example, what Greg Kading told me was that when he got the Keefe D confession, I assumed they put a little digital recorder on the table and press record. Nah, he had a hidden recorder on him.
And I doubt that he even knew that it was recorded. He probably was unaware of the fact that it was being recorded.
Oh, so there wasn't a tape recorder right there when... No. Oh, it was like a hidden recorder?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So he was being secretly recorded by the police while giving his confession?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's legal?
Oh, absolutely. All day long.
All day long.
Yeah, when you go into a police interview room, you better expect that there's a recording going on. Now, you're not going to see the recorder, but it's...
Oh, wow. Oh, that's how it's done these days.
Watch any crime documentary, and you're sitting there watching videotape of a guy being interviewed, and that guy doesn't necessarily know that there's a videotape on.
Okay. Was he videotaped or just audio recorded?
Just audio recorded. Yeah, because it wasn't at the police station. We actually did the interviews at his lawyer's office.
And you guys just had tape recorders on you? I mean, recording on you?
Small little concealable recorders.
Oh, so he never willingly and voluntarily gave them no statement or no confession about what went on?
Well, he did in his lawyer's office. He met with the police and told them everything. He just wasn't aware it was being recorded.
I know somebody that did that. Yeah, I get it. I know what, yeah. Yeah, I know how that happens. I thought it was some reprieve available, but yeah, we already know how I feel about that, so.
Yep. Apparently Mob James's daughter bangs Southside Crip, which is his enemy hood.
That's amazing.
He said, that's okay. He said that's God's payback for him.
My daughter is me and her mother.
Yeah.
My daughter is a little rougher than my sons, and I'm trying my best with her. And I have her son right now, my grandson, and I'm helping her with my grandson. But she coming along, but she's my payback.
Oh, so she's actually somewhat involved in.
She's a South Side. She's from South Side.
Oh, she's from
Yeah.
your enemy's side, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you see that type of thing happening? People have kids and they end up doing the opposite gangs.
Especially in Long Beach. I mean, because the two biggest gangs is the Insanes and the Rolling 20s. So, you know, Insane Crips have kids and they rebel and, you know, they be from the other gang and, you know, they wound up, you know, some of them wind up being real noted factors, you know, just because their rebellion is at that high level that they want to stand out being from where you're not from. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's something in our relationship that's not good. So, you know, I'm a grow up hating you and I'm gonna bang this other gang and stuff like that. Happens. It happens often. Or sometimes you just grow up in another area. You know, you could live here and then your family move over here. Years later, you 9, 10, 12 years old, you haven't really been indoctrinated in any gang, and then you start hanging out with the people over here and you just take to them. So.
Right. I mean, he said that her mother, his daughter's mother, was from South Side. So she grew up in that area, and now she bangs South Side. Are there a lot of
she
girls?
She probably couldn't bang Pyru right there because
Yeah.
it'd probably be rough on her banging that living in the Crip hood. So,
Are there a lot of girls that were insane Crips?
yeah, we had the Insane Angels. We had
They were called Insane Angels?
Yeah, the Insane Angels. Those were hard girls. Sparkle, all of Baby Cakes. We had.
How
we had
deep?
How
Deep was this crew?
Trish Dog, Lady Bogart. Who else? Man, all the homegirls over on by Burnett. They was kind of thick. They was about like 15, 20 thick, real homegirls with the whole get down. Now we got hundreds of girls. I'm from Insane and all that, you know, knock it off.
So you're talking about these girls would go shoot people?
Yeah. They carry guns, they shoot people, they fight, all that. They did
All
everything we did.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
It's not really a difference. They just choose to bang and they, you know, I'm out here with y'all. So I'm going to rep it like y'all rep it. And we, you know, we the homegirl brigade. So, you know, any females we need to handle or, you know, we got y'all back. It's whatever.
So you, I don't want you to name any names, but people would go do drive-bys and take like a girl with them and that type of thing.
Girls commonly drive, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shit. Yeah, everybody laid back, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, she navigating. You ain't gonna suspect no girl driving up the street, you know, and then everybody pop up like Jack in the Box, you know?
Okay, so this is a normal thing.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Insane Angels started in like 1979 or something like that, and they was around till like the mid 80s.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. You yourself were a robber.
Right.
What are the different types of robberies that you were doing, if you were to classify them?
Every kind.
So armed robbery, face-to-face armed robbery.
Every kind of robbery.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So you don't do this anymore?
No. Thank God I don't have to.
Thank God. Mm-hmm. Describe to me, step by step, how you do a face-to-face armed robbery.
Decide what you're going to rob.
Okay, so you sit back and you say, you decide the person you're going to rob.
Person or establishment.
Okay, so let's start with the person. Mm-hmm. What makes this person worthy of risking your safety and your life to do an armed robbery with?
He got something that you want.
Some money.
Money, jewelry, dope,
okay.
You know, guns.
So the local drug dealer, basically.
Maybe the local drug dealer, maybe the jeweler who owns a jewelry store.
Okay. Okay.
It all depends on your target.
If you looked at all your robberies, who were the type of people you mostly robbed?
Anybody that had what I wanted at the time.
But were they street guys or were they just regular
Both.
citizens?
They were both. It was the moment. It was wherever I was at, and whatever opportunity I had to rob.
Was it planned like days ahead of time or just a spur of the moment?
Some were spur of the moment.
Okay,
some
so
were spontaneous.
So who? Tell me one about robbing someone ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
You knew who this person was already.
Mm-hmm.
Did they know you?
Yes, in some instances.
Okay. So once you ID this person, what happens the moments leading up to the actual robbery?
You get armed and you just go commit the robbery. It's it's like you got the power. Once you pull a gun up, once you pull the gun up, you state what's going on, just like a regular robbery. You see it.
Okay. So you walk up to the person with a gun. Do you have a mask on or no?
Sometimes not.
So when you're doing when you're doing it barefaced,
you usually get instant cooperation because they know you mean business and you're not caring really.
But you're also risking that person calling the police on you afterwards.
If he knows you, yeah, but you won't do that to somebody you
So
know.
okay, so you will only.
Not unless it's a buster. If it's a buster, then you don't care.
Okay.
You don't care if a buster recognize you. You okay? What you gonna do? Go to the police? Okay, my homeboy's gonna kill you if you do.
Okay.
So you just got robbed. I took that. Let it go.
Okay. So you walk up to the person, you pull out a gun, you say, "Give me everything you got." How often did they resist?
Not often.
10%?
Very written. No, maybe
5%?
2%.
2%. Give me an example of someone resisting.
I don't know the combination to the safe.
Okay. At which point?
Boom! Yes, you do. Open the safe.
Boom is what? Pistol whipping?
Either the pistol whipping or the gun going off.
Oh.
Like, I will shoot this. Let's not play.
So you've actually shot the gun, like in the air, something like that?
In different locations.
Different locations.
Yes, in the air, at the safe, It's just, it just depends on how you feeling right there in Yosemite Sam, or, it's just, I want to disable your hearing and discombobulate you. I might let it go next to your ear or something,
Okay. Is there ever a lack of communication after the gun goes off?
Very seldom.
Have you had lack of cooperation after shooting a gun?
Yeah.
So even with the gun going off, they're like, I'm not going.
No, it wasn't that particular incident. It was somebody who actually escaped afterwards, but I had got everything I came for. But it was somebody escaping afterwards. They were still being non-compliant because, they chose to peel out.
So you either hit them with the gun or you shoot the gun. You're not really going to punch them.
Sometimes not even that. I mean, sometimes you can coax them like, look, I'm not playing. This is serious business. You want to die over this right here? And, they're kicking in usually. People don't really want to die for something that can be replaced.
This is true.
Yeah.
At which point you take everything and then you leave.
Yeah.
Is there usually a getaway driver or is it usually you jump in your own car and leave?
Getaway driver. I mean, it just depends on the circumstance. Sometimes I rob somebody in my car. Sometimes I rob them in a stolen car. Sometimes, if it all depends on if they in my neighborhood, I might rob them on foot. I know all the escape routes, so
just walk off.
Yeah. But you got to realize when we talking about during a time, the 1980s and the 1990s, where it was drugs were at a all-time high being sold, and this was the climate. People got robbed. People got got jacked for different things as far as like cars, and it was just a time where everything was so much in abundance that it wasn't uncommon for people to be getting robbed on a daily basis. Now it's kind of different, like all the cameras we were talking about, and all the cell phone tower pings and all that stuff. people wasn't worried about that then. You know, most people had beepers and stuff then.
Right.
You know, something like that.
So it was basically the Wild West. You would
It was
rob
the Wild
someone and
West.
just walk off, and
Yeah.
if they ID'd you, you deny it, and that's the end of that.
No, if they ID'd you, then chances are they would probably try to come back and get you, or they would get out of town. Like, you know, oh, that was him? Oh, okay, let me get out of here because I know I'm going to have to go at him with guns blazing. So, yeah, it was more Wild West.
So no one ever ID'd you over a robbery? No one said, Trey D robbed me?
Yeah.
To the police?
Well, I'm sure they have. I mean, you know, that the people that I robbed that could say that, you know, but not Trey D. I wasn't Trey D then, you know. I was Tracy D.
Okay.
You know, but, you know, I'm sure they didn't. I think it was, but no, I didn't rob nobody I knew, like friends, and they can just be like, oh, yeah, that was him, and they could easily ID me like that. They might come to learn who I was later on. Like, oh, he was, you know, he had freckles, and he was like, oh, you talking about Tracy D, that was him. And then, oh, that's who that was? What's up with him? Oh, man, you don't want to fuck with him. Or, man, when you go get him, man, just make sure you right, you know. And be like, you weigh it out. You weigh your options, you know. Could I take the loss or should I retaliate? And it's just a part of the procedure.
Well, and you said you run into some of the people you've robbed after the fact.
Yeah, I ran into a couple people I robbed.
And they just took that L and kept it moving.
Man, I would have looked out for you if you would have asked me, man. You know, I'm that kind of dude, man. You know, I ain't got no problem with you. Okay, that's cool. Appreciate it. You know, other dude, I realized it after the fact, after we had pulled off. I was like, damn, this looked like that dude. And I was wondering, I was like, damn, he was shaking, and you know, but he was talking to somebody I was with. You know, but he knew who I was, but I didn't know who he was until we pulled off, and then I put two and two together. I was like, oh, man, that's that dude I robbed.
That was the end of that. Here's what it is.
Yeah.
I recently put this out. I said that right now, Kendrick Lamar is the king of rap.
Mm-hmm.
I said if you took all the top rappers, if Jay-Z, Kanye, Pusha T, Childish Gambino, Nas, whoever, all dropped albums on the same day with Kendrick, Kendrick's album would make the biggest impact right now. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying all time. I'm not saying the best ever. Not comparing him to Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
I said right now, Kendrick is the king of rap. Mm-hmm. Agree or disagree?
I would have to agree. I think he could outsell Jay-Z right now.
Right now, yep.
Mm-hmm. And Drake is kind of like...
Yeah, Drake is another one of the people on that list.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd probably give it to Kendrick.
Yeah, I think, you know, sales-wise, you would probably outsell Drake, and impact-wise, you'd make a bigger impact with that album.
Yeah.
Because Kendrick is the only rapper to win a Pulitzer.
Right.
Goes a lot to say about
his writing skills.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the impact of what he's writing.
Of his poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt. No, I mean he's the new thing. You know what I mean? And it's clever that it's not customary California West Coast rap that he's doing. You know, he's kind of evolved the culture, you know, with his style and his presentation. So, you know, I applaud him. He dope. I'd agree. He's probably the king of rap right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Drake and Kanye would disagree, but
what did M's album do compared to his?
It did well, but I don't think it did. Yeah, Kendrick's album sold like, let me see. I could tell you, damn.
Because I've been hearing that debate, like, well, do you think M's the king? And this, that, and the other. So.
Damn sold 603,000 copies its first week.
603,000?
Yeah, Eminem, first week sales. Hold on, what was the last album called? Is it Kamikaze? Yeah.
Kamikaze.
434,000.
A whole third more.
Yep. Yep. Actually, more like 50% more.
No.
Almost. You take 434 divided by 2. That's like 200. You add 200 to the 434. That's like 6 something.
222.
Yeah, but it's. I know what you're saying, but if you take the original number, Kendrick sold 50% more than Eminem's album.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did. He did. I got it.
50% more.
Yes, he did. He did.
If you sold 100,
because you break the 2 down in half.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
If I sell 100 and you sell 150, you sold 50% more than I have.
True. No, I get it.
So he sold roughly 50% more albums than Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kendrick right now is running it, man.
Yeah.
And I thought, Damn's going to go down as an album for the ages.
Mm-hmm.
Won a bunch of Grammys, won a Pulitzer.
Yeah.
Was talking about some real shit.
Yeah.
Very, very different sounding from song to song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kendrick's killing it right now.
Great for hip hop, man.
Great for hip hop.
Yeah.
And he's not these like, what they call industry plants, where it's like, okay, we're gonna take this pretty boy and who he's gonna take his shirt off, and he's gonna be light skinned, he's gonna have this type of hair, and he's gonna do these types of songs for the girls.
Yeah.
None of that shit.
Right.
Dark skinned dude with braids, not really a fashion icon, really. Just
he's
wears.
more hippie. He's a hippie.
More of a hippie, yeah. Dresses hippie.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
rock jewelry.
Doesn't wear any jewelry.
Yeah.
Doesn't flash his money.
I always thought that was pretty smart of Dre too, and Cube. They don't run around. What you gonna cost me for? You know what I mean? What you want? You want what's in my pocket? Go $300, man. Go take care of yourself.
Here's my platinum card.
Yeah.
See how far that'll take you before I call it in.
Exactly. So,
I ain't gonna get charged for this anyways.
Yeah.
American Express gonna pay all this back.
He fits the mold of the hippie. The hippie. Get down and not ostentatious. And he makes good music, man. It's effective too. It's effective because a lot of people that I know that's from my age bracket and makes music from the time period when I was at my heyday and stuff like that. They swear by Kendrick Lamar, like he's the new thing. Like, man, that boy killing, man. You see Kendrick? I'm like, yeah, I see. We doing this stuff.
Yeah. He touches really all across the board, from the young kids, and that's the thing. People say, well, Jay-Z, he make a bigger impact. Jay-Z makes a different, a bigger impact, I think, with older people, people in their 40s and 50s and stuff like that.
Because Jay-Z don't rap, Jay-Z talk. Yeah. Jay-Z have a conversation with you.
Right.
So yeah, if you ain't trying to have no grown-up conversation, you probably ain't, you ain't going to get too much wild turned up with Jay. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what's going on right now. The energy.
Yeah, Kendrick touches all. I think the teenagers fuck with Kendrick, and the 50-year-olds fuck with Kendrick, and everyone in the middle fucks with him.
Yeah.
Right now, Kendrick the king of rap. It is what it is. He's cemented himself in that position, multiple albums.
Yeah.
Doing his thing.
Yeah. Keep on pushing.
That's what it is. Trey Deee. Till next time.
All right, for
Peace.
sure, Vlad.